Hey there, you guys. So, we're right around the corner of GTA 6 finally releasing. This year, 2026, will go down in history as one of the most historic years simply because of that fact. Rockstar, for you guys who don't know, the developer behind Grand Theft Auto, have been, milking Grand Theft Auto 5 for as long as my childhood, essentially. It's been a solid, group of 10 years. This game originally released back on the PS3. We're now at hopefully the tail end of the PS5 generation. So it is pretty historic. It is pretty crazy to think of one game holding an entire company on its back effortlessly, right? You see the reports where it makes like $1 million or $1 billion a day or whatever it is. It's a crazy astronomical game, GTA 5. And what's even crazier is here I stand in 2026 and I finally completed my first playthrough of Grand Theft Auto 5. So when Grand Theft Auto 5 originally came back, released back on the PS5, I remember playing the beginning portion, right? And just for like framework for those of you guys who know the game, obviously I think pretty much everybody minus me. Um, I had played up until the point where Franklin is breaking into the house, that whole trying to steal the car back, etc. So that's back on my first playthrough. I remember doing that, and I remember I liked the game, but for whatever reason, I just didn't care to play a Grand Theft Auto game, especially after Grand Theft Auto 4, which was probably one of my favorite. Between Grand Theft Auto 4 and San Andreas were my favorite Grand Theft Autos of all time. But after like loving Grand Theft Auto 4 and loving Nico and that whole story, I don't know, GTA 5 just didn't really seem to resonate with me as much in that moment. So here we are, 2026, on the precipice of GTA 6 coming out, and instead of waiting for GTA 6 to come out, I decided why not go and do my first actual playthrough of GTA 5. And in this video, I'm just going to share my thoughts of this game, how well it holds up, the things that I like, the things that I didn't like, etc. Now, before we get into that, if you guys can do me a favor, like, subscribe, let me know down below your guys' thoughts on the game, and let's just get into it, right? So, GTA 5. GTA 5, I think, is a very unique game. I think they're doing a lot of really cool things, especially for that era, right? You have three main protagonists, all of which I don't really care for, to be honest with you. I think they're all pretty scummy people. I think they're all not, you know, emblematic of heroes in games. That's the point, I believe. As you play through this narrative and you see all the people kind of backstabbing each other, all the things that they're doing, all the selfishness things that they do, it is, I think, painting a very, very cartoony picture of, I think, the worst that America has to offer. I think a lot of it's very cliche. A lot of it is very blockbuster movie, but all of it makes sense in this framing of what GTA is. This is satire at satire's, I don't want to say best, but this is very satirical in what they're doing. They're showcasing perspective of a different world that most of us, I'm hoping, don't ever have to live in or engage with. As far as the narrative's concerned, I don't think there's a whole lot of highlights, to be honest with you. A lot of the stuff are things that you kind of expect to happen. If so and so's gonna backstab so and so, and you see it happening, you see the steps leading up to it. Franklin's caught up in the mess between these two ex-best friends. Both of them are supposed to be dead, pretty much. And again, it's not a terrible story by no means. It's just in the realm of 2026 with a lot of the, some of the most impressive narratives I've seen in a very long time. I don't think this game's narrative really holds up as well. I mean, it's definitely serviceable for sure, but to say that GTA has been known for its narrative, I say isn't the most, monolithic thing that GTA offers to the gaming society. If I look back at all my favorite Grand Theft Auto games, I could barely remember the stories of San Andreas, Vice City, or Grand Theft Auto 3. I remember GTA 4 a lot better because I actually really liked that story. But everything else, I don't know. The stories were always serviceable. Now, the bread and butter of Grand Theft Auto is the gameplay. It's the worlds that you live in. It's going around stealing cars, getting guns, getting warrants. The missions are, I want to say, hit or miss typically, but more often or not, they're highlights. And I think this is where GTA 5 shines. I think the gameplay is still very fun. It is very clunky to a degree, but I think it's because they're doing a lot, right? I think when you have to have a game do a lot of things from aiming and shooting and driving and just kind of existing, yeah, you become, not great at a lot of those things. I think a lot of times the driving is wonky unless you're Franklin. I think a lot of times the shooting is a little hard to do. It just, overall, the controls are very dated, but I think that's what makes it very fun. I love, just doing the most outrageous stuff in a game, and it just allowing you to do it. This is a sandbox for all intents and purposes, and they really, really thrive in that sandbox nature. I love getting warrants and trying to hide out. I love those missions where you have to line up your car perfectly next to the other car and have someone jump from one car to another, but it's a little awkward because they're driving at full speed and you got to try to drive at full speed, but you can't go too fast. You got to slow down a bit. You got to hold it for like 2 seconds. It's I think it's those little like quirky parts of this game that make it really fun. I love this, modern take of this city. I love the fact that this is an open world game that takes place in a modern era. That doesn't happen often. Typically, open world games want to do, big, lush, green, foresty areas, or magical fairylands with castles and dragons. Like, again, I love all those stuff, but it is awesome and refreshing to see a game take place in a modern era, which is what gets me super excited for any GTA release, right? Seeing these cities that they create, seeing their parodies on real life things from brands that you're familiar of. I want to see the parodies that they take on actual characters. There's like the section is in GTA 5 where there's like an Apple-ish type company, and you have to try to like assassinate their person. Like that whole section is it's cool to see this stuff play out in a realm of realism, quote unquote, right? And I think that that's something that GTA is very unique in. I think why it resonates with so many people is you don't necessarily need to have a wild imagination to play this game. I think you can kind of just imagine and laugh and eat popcorn type of vibe. It's very for everyone, And again, whether you like the characters or not is kind of irrelevant to the fact that you're just kind of playing this game for the mischief of it all. And I think it does a good job of not glorifying these things. I think a lot of people, that was kind of like the controversy growing up as a kid is games, are video games glorifying violence, things like Mortal Kombat, Grand Theft Auto, etc. And I don't know, looking at it from a older perspective, I don't necessarily think it's glorifying these things. I think it's showing you why you shouldn't do these things. Sure, like combat and stuff like that, killing people in these games is fun, but not because killing is fun. Like the game is so gamified in a way that makes it super unrealistic, super cartoony, out of the top. It just opens up the possibility for a lot of experimentation and playing around in a sandbox, right? I think it's the same thing as if you get two action figures and you bonk them together. You're not glorifying violence as a kid when you do that. Neither are you doing that in Grand Theft Auto. It's just you playing with playthings, and that is perfectly fine. I love a lot of the mission structure that Grand Theft Auto has in this game. I love the heist sections. I think those are some of the most thought out missions in GTA 5, when you get to pick your people and rank them by stars, and you want to get a certain amount of cut from these heists, etc. I like all that. I kind of really like a lot of the side characters. I think they're pretty cool, especially like a lot of like the mob bosses and stuff like that you kind of encounter throughout GTA 5. I like a lot that this game is offering, is what I'm trying to get at. I think GTA 5 in 2026 is still a really good game. I can see why I fell off though. I can see the friction that I don't necessarily enjoy, and I'm hoping that GTA 6 can deliver on things that GTA 5 missed. Obviously, like, we're a decade removed from this game. So it is actually super impressive that this game holds up as well as it does. When you look at other games in that era, that some of them can be very clunky, and the fact that this game is kind of held throughout time, throughout a generational shift in gaming, this game still you know calls to so many people. So many people have experienced this game and played this game, whether it is the online or whether it is just GTA 5. I think overall it's a very 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 impressive game, even to modern standards. Even with all the jank that GTA 5 offers, even with all the craziness, it's just one of those things that I'm so glad that Rockstar is able to create games like this. And I understand why people get mad that Rockstar doesn't create games more often anymore. The fact that they've been able to sit on the backs of GTA 5 for as long as they have is a testament to their work that they did, though. Like, if you're able to create a game that is that monumental, you deserve to take your time and release the next one whenever you feel like it at that point. And I don't know, just mad kudos to Rockstar for that. Mad kudos for the development team for creating such an amazing game. I honestly, I became more of a fan playing this game, and I was someone, again, I grew up playing GTA for a long time, and I really enjoyed a lot that GTA has to offer, and just replaying this reminded me why. And I'm very excited to see what comes next with Grand Theft Auto. I'm gonna leave it at that. Let me know down below where you guys like this game or not, if you guys remembered it fondly, and if you guys ever go back to it.